Hey, you're listening to Spare Notes. My name is Jonah Evans. I talk to artists about the things that push and pull at them in the act of creating or performing, the things that inspire them, and I try to get to know them a little bit. This is Spare Notes. And shout out to Magana. The intro music you're hearing is by the artist Magana off their album Teeth that came out in 2024, and the song name is XXO. Also shout out Audio Antihero. This segment is called 3 Questions. At least one question is about the artist's current project, and the other 2 are usually about ideas connected to their artistry overall. In this episode, I interviewed Delaney Bailey. Her latest album, Concave, just came out, and it's a freaking banger. We get into a little bit of romanticism, some of the production of the album, and if you have a chance to, check out the album, you should. Check out her TikTok. She's got a lot of videos on there. Her voice is amazing. And see you on the other side. Hello, Delaney Bailey. How's it going today? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. So I'm just going to get right into the questions and we'll see what happens.
Cool.
I looked up the word concave as it's the name of your album. Some definitions in the Merriam-Webster dictionary are hollowed or rounded inward like the inside of a bowl and arched in, curving in. I was reminded of your merch, the Bat Wings hoodie, where you can see this deep curve in between the wings, and the Shadow Puppet tee, where hands are shown making shadow wings, and the album artwork. You're on the cover, sitting on a hard surface and stretching your arms towards the sky at an angular position, which creates this half-moon image. Tell me what the idea of concave means to you and why you named your album Concave.
So basically the whole album is about the issues and the problems that I have with myself and like recognizing that I need to do some work on myself and the things that I need to work on basically. So concave came from just like thinking about what other words were for like inwards and like going in. And it's essentially just because I was looking inwards while I was writing the album, and it's all about me. And I think this is the first time that I've written an entire piece of work that's entirely about myself, which is cool.
That's awesome. You said that to me, paintings look like they have sounds and music sounds like it could be a painting. You were also able to use your design degree to make at least some of your merch, like that awesome Shadow Puppet tee. What might be some distinctive imagery you've conjured or could conjure from this album that might play as a visual representation in a painting? What is the world you see?
Yeah, I was talking to one of my team members about like the world that I view this album in, and I think in Indiana, I was raised in Indiana, and there's this park called Turkey Run, and it's basically like these pathways that go through caves and forest and stuff like that. So I think it would live like in the bottom of one of those caverns, and I think that's what I see when I listen to the album. In terms of art, the album was kind of based around the Romantic movement in art history. So that essentially is just like the visual elements of Romantic art is a lot of heavy, detailed nature, and then the people are really, really small. And so it places an emphasis on like the power of nature and basically just removing humanness from nature and recognizing how big and vast the world is. And I think I tried to mirror that in the sonic part of my album and like the instruments and the producing. I tried to make it more bigger and I don't know, just something you could sink your teeth into production wise, which I think is it's a step away from what I've been doing in the past.
I love that. It's all like congruent with like sound and soundscape and imagination. That's really cool. Okay, last question. Between intuition and intentionality, tell me a little bit more about how the album was constructed in the studio and what songs or outcomes may have surprised you to some degree.
Yeah, it was different for a lot of the songs. I worked with a couple different producers, and one of them, Grayson Proctor, I did something that I have never done before, which I just sent him a demo and I let him do whatever he wanted with it. And so me and him co-wrote Lion and How To. And that was a really interesting process because I feel like he's one of the people that just kind of got the vision immediately and knew exactly what to do with it. And How To was one of the songs where I was like, when he sent it back, the first draft, I was like, immediately, yes, like this is everything that I see for the song. And I didn't even have to say anything. And then with Carrie, I actually went to her studio and I brought in demos that I wrote on GarageBand on my phone. And then we would take them into an actual software and then work on them from there. I think one that surprised me the most was probably No. That one I think was the hardest to work on for some reason. I think we just it because it was a more mellow song. I
Mhm.
wanted it to feel like it was in the album, but still like connected to the work that I've done in the past. So being able to put in a lot of interesting production work while still making it feel like my old my very first album, like that bare bones a little bit was proved to be difficult. So I think that song surprised me the most, but I really, really love how it came out.
Sounds like you had a good, positive, awesome journey with making the album, and congrats on getting it done and it being out there in the world.
Thank you.